Interesting. Helix. We have not seen a lot of Helix at
I
all.
believe there was just one in the round of 12.
So we have Helix versus Paladin. Paladin's been
Paladin,
pretty popular.
Paladin's been a very popular pick in these late phase games. I think that people are finally figuring out that all that CC that it can apply is very effective for dealing with rebel spam.
So the map is Bog 2.0. Couple of choices here. There's a top path, there's a bottom path. Most things go through mid. There's some hard set neutrals that you do have to deal with, though. Um, that can be tricky depending on how you work it.
That is correct, but as long as you're smart about getting past them, well, it wouldn't run you too much trouble.
But anyhow, this is game 2 of the finals of the AirMech Weekend 1v1 tournament number 4. Maor247 in the lead with 1 win, trying to keep it at a 2-0 match. Makuo over on the right side on the blue.
And Makuo is going to have that Gothic Paladin down a game but not out, and is going to be very determined to win this game and keep the series alive.
Maor almost getting killed there, but not quite.
That is correct.
Those flankers.
And on the minimap, you might be seeing that huge cluster of neutral units on the bottom and top. Those are actually just a single T-99 and a bunch of mines, so it's not quite the impassable barrier that it looks to be.
Well, it's impassable for a mass of rebels.
Well, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
My point more so being that you can kill the T-99 and drop a single healing unit.
So, both players setting up for a standard mid-fight, coming from their forward outpost. Sometimes you'll see them come from the other side, and they'll actually ferry over from their close, but that's less common.
That's correct, and that's not what we're seeing here at all, as this looks to be about as conventional of an opening as you can get.
Maor working on his rebel club.
I suppose the rebel spam is about as conventional as you can get on this map.
Makuo, a man after my own heart, doesn't even have rebels in his loadout.
And we can always applaud that bravery. Speaking out against the cruel and oppressive meta regime that the rebels have become.
Maor trying to get the missiles in, but air-to-air actually snipes down the missiles pretty effectively.
However, one flanker does die. And another Longhorn is in trouble here. Makuo, of course, rotating it out to keep it alive, and has chosen the attack aura, which is a very interesting choice against an attack mech like the Helix, where the defense aura is going to save you a lot more from poke, as a buffed unit is going to be able to tank a few more missiles.
Maor playing it really safe here, just doing as much harass with his mech as possible, get it out for full damage. He's got Lexi and Blaster Guardians, just trying to snipe any units he can from long range, while building up a massive swarm of rebels that presumably is just going to do a death push with as soon as he hits max upkeep.
And that swarm is going to be very effective, as the upkeep cap sits at 67 before you even get control of mid. So he can theoretically hit that 67, capture mid for a brief moment, and then get 6 more in his queue.
Makuo going a mostly Longhorn loadout probably will not be able to take on the rebels directly unless it's a base race.
That's right. However, Makuo does have the points and hammer and attack aura, so he himself will be able to deal with them rather quickly.
Those Blaster Guardians from Maor are proving to be very powerful. Whenever Makuo is not getting hit in the face, he's taking some punishment.
That's right. And
Maor
it's
is
not
actually
really
probably better off
Makuo
using his guns.
if Makuo continues to stagnate, because that rebel push will just overwhelm and outspeed anything that Makuo can put out on the field.
Makuo has scouted these rebels and is trying to build bombs, but they're still kind of loosely packed, and he's unable to really get a lot of damage in.
That's right, and with only 2 bombs being dropped at a time. Oh, and Maor has spotted out one of those bombs and destroyed it, unfortunately.
And those bombs aren't even really doing a whole lot of damage against the rebels at all.
A couple of them have almost died.
Wow,
and
a couple rebels.
If Makuo can land a hammer shot, he can do some more. We will
considering just
see.
the cost effectiveness, one rebel is already worth like 2 bombs,
That
just as
is
far as
true.
credits and time to build it.
However, Makuo is going to die to Maor in a very close
Ouch!
dogfight.
He had a level up that almost saved him, but those Blaster Guardians are just oppressive on that Lexi Helix.
Absolutely, on any damage mech or any mech that's kitted out for a lot of damage, and I have no doubt that Maor is also using the holdout pistol to get even more piercing.
Maor deciding that this is the opportunity to capitalize. He's going to sacrifice a couple rebels as tribute to those heavy mines, uh,
And that's going to get through them no trouble. Those two
so that the
bombs
Horde may live. So
are
he's just
dead.
pushing straight through on Y most likely,
For
and
the
just going
Horde,
to
he
try,
says.
just going to try to hammer this fort down on the corner. So he's going to come in and he's going to command mode to a corner, and he's just going to chill out right there.
And that's going to be the end, it looks like, as Makuo has no units to defend with, his
He's got
entire
units,
army
but
sitting mid and doing absolutely nothing useful for him.
he's got bombs, but there's just too little too late. This will definitely be a 2-game win for Maor. And this,
And that is going to wrap up the final match.
that is your tournament. Maor is your grand champion. If it ain't broke, it's broken. Just pumping out those rebels constantly, every matchup. Um,
And we have really seen Rebels win the day.